Stacy, here we are.
Hey!
We are live. And when I say live, we are pre-recorded by episode 48, for episode 48.
4-8. Yay.
4-8. If you were to take 4 and 8
Oh
and
my God.
add that together, you would get 12. Do you remember who our 12th episode guest was?
Oh.
Who was it? Can't look, can't cheat. Who
No.
was it?
Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember.
Neither can I. I was hoping you knew. Anyways, I love doing that to see, like, in the spur of the moment, if you do something so silly and goofy, like add the numbers of the show together, what could that trigger in 2 seconds in my mind? What could you talk about? What would be funny? And clearly nothing. So probably won't be doing that much more.
It's always interesting.
You got that right. So what's happening, my friend?
Well, we heard that on Amazon Prime, the #1 movie is Samaritan.
Samaritan. Look at that. Look at that. He's wearing that damn Patagonia puffer jacket. And he is one garbage man that kicks major butt on this movie.
Yeah.
Samaritan is #1. Isn't that great?
He let that out this morning. I was like, wow. I don't know. He's a box office superhero.
He really is. When it's so great to see the old lion roar one more time or yet again. And he just doesn't stop for him. He really just does everything he can do to hit it out of the park. We saw it the other night. I loved it. I really did. But I was going into it knowing what to expect. I did not expect a giant Marvel Lollapalooza, with all the special effects and all these crazy things.
Right.
This is just a broken down old superhero who, has seen better days. And there's a few things left. Actually, it really reminded me of the old... Back in the late 60s, there was that stop animation motion Christmas show, how Kris Kringle came to life, right? And Snow Miser, right? Remember the snow guy? And he's all white and he's got the hat. He looked like Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. Well, at the end, he's got to save Kris Kringle. He's got to save Christmas. So he just... it's not like he's praying to Christmas powers, but he says, if I can just have the old power one last time. It was like Hercules Unbound or Unchained. I don't know if you ever saw Hercules back in the day, but Hercules or no, that was Samson. Sorry, I was going down a whole other story. Samson lost his strength and got it back for one last try. Anyways, moving forward, Samaritan was great. Did you enjoy the whole movie? I
did.
Yeah.
I thought the young man very good. What I
mean? Was good.
I think we're going to see a lot from him, and then to see Sly just still kicking butt. And I was looking really close. I'm like, is that a body double or is he doing it? I'm like, he's doing this.
He was doing a lot of his stunts. Definitely was. I mean, for Sylvester Stallone at his age, 76, to still be able to crush a toaster, and that was a real toaster. I mean, I saw the GE Electric logo on it. I know that was a real toaster. That wasn't a prop. It was a lot of fun. It really, really was great. I can't wait to watch it on the big screen very shortly. We watched it upstairs on TV, but I'm going to crank up the volume just as soon as I'm alone, and I am going to go to town.
Yeah.
But
it's
anyways,
good. It's a ride. It is definitely a ride. Yeah.
And you know what? Speaking of a ride, I used to have a variety of careers over the years, and one of them just jumped back out in front of me. I was going through my Rocky closet where I keep a lot of my Rocky outfits that I wear and the old sweats and so on and whatever. A lot of my t-shirts are back there. And this thing jumped out at me and I didn't expect it. This is, I don't know if you're ready for this. This is my old police uniform.
Oh, cool.
That's my old badge. There's my Dunmore police, right? And this is the pen I used to write up all my tickets with. That's the very pen I had in the pocket. But you can see this is the real deal. And even though I am not a religious person by any means, I remember my mother had given me, where is it? Can you see the angel right there?
Oh, how nice. Yes.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that.
So I always wore it whenever it's a little pin. So I always wore that because it made my mother feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
And,
A
I don't
little
have any,
protection. Yeah.
yeah, I don't have any like ironic story. Like I was in a shootout and the bullets were coming at me and the angel medallion ricocheted a bullet off of it, saving my life. I don't have anything like that. I can make one up if you'd like, but
That's
actually,
cool.
the department I worked for at the time, they were more like the Keystone Cops. It was ridiculous. But it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
It really was. I
Yeah.
did take away quite a lot on how to handle certain situations, and I
Yeah.
found myself maturing a little, not much, but a little bit. But they did treat me like Barney Fife. They would only give me one bullet, and that was it. So.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I have police in the family, and some of the
Yeah.
stories, some of the situations are like, wow, just horrible things that
Right.
you have to walk into. So I can imagine you must have a ton of stories.
Ton of stories and just,
Yeah.
just in today's world, it would never float. But back then, man, we're talking 93. This was
Mhm.
when the crime bill came out and we got a lot of funding for that. So
Right.
I'd done that for just under 5 years. And I realized it's too politically motivated. And
Mhm.
I didn't have really any connections. But
Mhm.
it was a great stepping stone to a future for me. So no regrets on the cop job. That
Yeah.
was something I really I learned from. And I think
Yeah.
really a lot of us have jobs like that. Like
Mhm.
if you had one job in your life, Stacy, that you had that you learned from, what would it be?
Well, I all the way through high school and college, I was working for a cleaning company. So I
Oh,
cleaned.
really?
Yeah, I cleaned for 8 straight years.
Wow.
And then I went right into nursing school.
Oh,
And
okay.
much like cops, you're put into situations and you're dealing with personalities
Yeah.
and you need to adjust in a hurry to
Wow.
get that situation under control. And I think that's why cops and nurses tend to get along because
Yeah, yeah.
you don't know what you're going to get. It's not controlled and you just got to roll with that person wherever they're at. And I
Right,
know
right.
that's where all my growth came, at least for patience and understanding. And yeah, it's tough.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's lessons I think that we do take with us, and I think
Mhm.
a lot of people on tours, they always tell me, like I tend to ask questions like that. What is it that you like about your job? Are you happy in it, and so on? And when they start to think about it, you see the wheel turning in their head, and they say, "Oh yeah, well, actually, I learned this or that," and they apply it and pass it on to their family and their children, and it's things like that I find very interesting. I also
Yeah.
just realized we are wearing the flag, Ukraine flag colors. I didn't
Oh
realize that.
yeah, look at
How about that?
that.
Well, it's not like we both had the same yellow shirts on 10 minutes ago.
No, that didn't happen.
That didn't happen. That's scary when you're dressing the same as your co-host and you didn't call each other. What are you
Right.
wearing? No, what are you
What are
wearing?
you wearing? We sat down, we're both yellow. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm excited about it." And you were like, "I'm going to change
No,
my
no,
t-shirt." I'm
no,
like, "Oh,
no.
fine."
I'm gonna
Anyway,
coexist. Coexist.
coexist. Very nice.
Yeah. I should try to coexist more in the world. I
I
don't. I
know.
don't, but I should.
It's tough to bite your tongue right now.
Mm.
Moving along.
Moving right along. What else is happening before we get to Rocky stuff?
Yeah. So, well, our mission here is for fans about fans, and so I have several things lined up here, and
Awesome.
I got so much this week. I'm like, let's just plow through it. So,
I love it.
our friend Reminder, we take for granted how easy it is for us to get t-shirts and
Yeah.
any, our stuff that is all around us. Well,
Right.
what he had to go through to get this t-shirt.
Isn't that crazy?
Look at him. He's so
Look at him.
handsome.
Very proud.
Yeah, he finally got this. Somebody locally did this for him. He
Doesn't
sent it to
he
me.
remind you of a magician? Look at his face. His face almost looked, if he had a top hat in a tuxedo, I would think he was a magician.
Yeah. To me, it's all the eyes. He has
Yeah.
these eyes that
Yeah.
look right through you. I don't know. I love him. He's a sweetheart. But I was so happy for him.
He had a friend make that, or a local printer?
Like a local t-shirt shop maybe, but
Okay.
you can't just get stuff. I'm like, "Oh, just order it." But
Wow.
Amazon does not deliver to India, so we're very spoiled. So I just wanted to show that off, and say Roz is doing better. If you guys are following
Wonderful.
Roz, she walked a mile and a half with her dog the other day, so
Nice.
she's coming around. And then last week we had all the tattoos,
Yeah.
and I was like, I kept getting them. I'm going, okay,
We have more?
we have more. So I just wanted to go through these. This one is a Rambo. Look at the detail
That's incredible.
on that. And then the same gentleman, and you have to pause for a moment. Look at his back.
Look at that.
The tiger right in the middle, Mickey, his whole back. I don't know. I'm not brave enough to permanently change my skin. I don't know.
What if something ever happened and he like ended up hating Rocky?
Right?
Like, I don't know.
This is why I can't. I don't. I mean, if I had to have a tattoo, it would be
Yeah.
Rocky related. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, me
And
too.
there'd be no reason to suddenly hate Rocky one day. But I'm a big baby with the pain. I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
And then
I
this
agree.
fedora. Not a lot of fedoras in our tattoos, so
I
I was
love
happy to
that
see that.
one.
Yeah,
That is sharp. I mean, the detail on that hat, I mean, it is really excellent. I
it's
do
good.
like that.
It's good. This guy, this at the bottom here, Rocky and Drago, it goes all the way around. This is another all the
Does
way
it?
around one.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And so under the arm like that, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah, I don't even like to be tickled under the arm, so I don't know how they do it with a needle.
And
Again, look, I mean, this is insane. What
yeah.
does she have there?
So this is, I looked real close at it. It's just a portion of the keep moving forward speech right at the end
I
there.
got you.
And then this woman has 2 Rocky tattoos that she is finishing. So they're started
Wow.
and she's going to finish them. So I was like, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to show these because got to pay homage to the people who are permanently
Yeah, inked. I mean,
marking their bodies.
yeah, I mean, I think on some level you have to respect that. I mean, it is a little crazy, but on the other hand, it's also a huge showing of their love and respect for this simple broken down boxer. I mean, it
Yeah.
really is a massive show of love. So you have to say to yourself, okay, that's a little crazy, but boy, they love this character. And I'd love to hear some of their stories. Why they did that?
Yes.
Why did they choose that
That
tattoo?
particular
Why
one.
that
Right.
one? You know,
Yeah.
some are very traditional, some were not so traditional.
Yeah.
And I like the writing. The writing is kind of interesting.
Mhm.
Again, I don't know that I would get it, but I understand having that. It really inspires them and motivates them. So, job well done, people. All
Yeah.
very impressive.
Yeah. Cool. A permanent reminder, every time you look down, especially if you're having a hard time and you
Right.
see something on you, it's a permanent
Yeah.
reminder to keep moving forward.
Yes, totally.
Right? So we have 2 birthday things today. You all should remember, this is a photo of him. This is Ronnie Dale. And Ronnie, your daughter contacted us and asked that we get Rocky to send a very personal message to you on her birthday, because her birthday
Right.
is September 1st. But she wanted you to know something on her birthday from her to you. I just want to show these pictures a little bit.
Yeah, those are beautiful.
This young lady, look how cute she is right here. And this young lady is an artist. Look at this. There's Ronnie in the background.
That's pretty good. I mean, you know that profile anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. And then look at this one. It's almost like a dog that is like a top of a pie.
Yeah, like an apple pie or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
In this
So,
one.
oh,
And
look
then,
at this. Is
yeah.
that Toucan Sam?
Yeah.
Toucan Sam. So
So
we literally reached out to Rocky Balboa himself,
we
and
did.
and he sent us a video. So I told you we have connections. So Stacy, you got that somewhere?
I got it. Hang on.
Okay, here you go. Yikes.
Yo, my friend Ron, you raised a good kid when they want to give yous a gift on their birthday. Now, Kina wants you to know how grateful she is that you're her dad. And on her birthday, she wanted you to have this message that having you for a dad is the best gift she could ask for. So enjoy the cake, keep smiling, and like we always say, keep punching.
Wow.
Nice.
That
was so good.
We got Rocky off the streets of Philadelphia to stop by for a few seconds. Looked like Rocky had to go to the bathroom the way he kept swaying back and forth.
Oh, did he?
I think he may have had to go to the bathroom and say, "Oh, better get this done."
He might have persisting kidney problems or kidney stones.
He may have some kidney
may.
issues. Yes. So let's forgive Rocky on that. Ron, seriously, to have a daughter that puts a request in for her dad on her birthday, that's actually pretty beautiful and pretty special. And it just speaks significantly to what an amazing dad you are. And I got to see that firsthand on the tour. And correct me if I'm wrong. I have been wrong before, but didn't we meet just a few weeks ago in Philly? I couldn't take you on a tour because I was double booked, but I show up at the gym and there you are at Row Home getting something to drink, something to eat, right? It was a pleasure seeing you and the family again. And so, anyways, enjoy your time with the kids.
Enjoy your day. Yeah, that was so sweet. She seems like a very sweet girl. Let's see. So Tiffany Safard, I just wanted to show this because if you want to throw a proper Rocky birthday party for the Rocky fan in your life, this is how to do it. I just want to do the pictures first, and then there's like a 48-second video. Hang on with me,
beautiful.
Folks. Let me just find it. Look at this. So here's the 50 balloon. You can see somebody we know in the background. Okay. And
boy, Rocky's everywhere.
Yeah. And then here's the Rocky cake.
Nice.
And then there is another picture that I'll superimpose right there of the three of them, his wife, Tiffany, and his daughter. And it's just such a beautiful picture. I'm going to put it right here. Then here is the video of Brian from his birthday. Hang on.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that awesome?
Everybody's wearing their best formal Rocky attire. Right? You got to love it, man. A band singing Eye of the Tiger. I mean, what more do you want? That's fantastic.
I was like, is the cover charge that you have to have a Rocky t-shirt on to get into the party? I was like, wow, I loved that. So I just wanted to show that off. That was a perfect Rocky birthday.
What an amazing wife to go ahead and do something like that, knowing what it means to her husband. And so it just, again, I think it speaks to the quality of the husband, right, Brian? So I mean, that's the thing, because if you're like one of these husbands that come home and you're sitting in the lazy boy and just putting your feet up, you're flipping football games or sports on the flat screen. Give me a beer and make me a sandwich.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly.
You're not getting a Rocky party, okay? You may be getting some arsenic in your birthday cupcake if you're lucky. So no, that's wonderful. So congratulations on that. And yeah, man, welcome to 50. It's I mean, part of it's all downhill from here, and part of it's actually uphill from here, depending on how you look at it. So it depends on the day.
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. I think it has a little bit to do with DNA and has a little bit to do with circumstances. But by and large, I think a lot of us are pretty okay in our 50s.
Yeah.
My parents tell me after that, right around mid 60s is when you really start just saying, okay, look, just
Forget
go
it.
away, leave me alone. That's it. Can someone just build me a chair that goes up the steps? I don't want to walk up the steps anymore. Can we have a bathroom put on the first floor? Maybe I'll bring my bed down and just put it right here in the television room. How's our staff been? You're out at the home office this week, broadcasting. So how is the staff? Does everybody seem happy and together and
Yeah,
functional?
I think so. They're, they forget a picture here every now and again, and I have
Yeah.
to speak to them firmly. But overall, they're good employees, and
Well, you
we're
saw
gonna
what they
keep
brought
them.
back in the one school district in where was it, Missouri, Mississippi? They brought back paddling.
They
I
did?
think paddling. Yes, they brought. I did no joke. When the show or a little podcast here is done, Google at the Google machine, and you can see paddling brought back. It was either Missouri or Mississippi, and
Oh,
yeah, seriously. And so maybe we just start paddling people in the office. I mean,
right.
I don't foresee any problems there. Could you
No,
imagine that?
I can't actually. I would lose it if anyone touched my kid. I don't care.
See, yeah, if I had kids, I probably wouldn't want to teach her paddling them.
Yeah.
But in defense of paddling, they
Mm,
had it in my grade school and high school
mhm.
and middle school. And as I look back over it, it actually did me a world of good because I did get it maybe 7 or 8 times, but
Yeah,
the fear of getting it kept me more in
keeps you in
line.
line. True,
It did.
right.
It did.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
and I mean, it's the fat part. It's your butt. I mean, doesn't hurt
You know.
that. It stings. It's just more humiliating being bent over a desk as a fat 75-year-old white male hits you with a paddle.
Ow.
That hurts.
Oh.
That
Oh
hurts. That's
my
not
gosh.
fun.
So was that public school or was that
Yeah.
okay, 'cause
Oh yeah, I was too
I
stupid to get in parochial. There's no way I was getting in. No way. I couldn't even find the name, fill in the name slot. I mean, it didn't work for me. But yeah,
good
yeah,
lord,
a public school. Mr. Green was the
really?
principal of my school, and he had holes drilled into it. And he goes, "All right, assume the position." Whack.
Oh,
It
that's disturbing.
Yes, in
Yeah.
this world today, it's insane to
Yeah,
think of that. But again, it was one of the top 3 reasons why I
yeah,
never got into major trouble. I was
right.
afraid of that, my
Yeah,
parents, and Rocky was a great
yeah.
North Star for me. I mean, you wonder what would have happened if Rocky had a little bit of an adaptation for the books. Like what if he didn't get out of school in 9th grade? What if Rocky graduated high school? I think Rocky would have ended up going to like mid-level management somewhere. Like if he graduated high school, not the
Yeah,
Rocky we know today,
right.
Rocky that just had a step or two above the Rocky that we know, because Rocky actually was very intelligent. He
Mhm,
he he could size up a situation very quickly. Rocky
mhm.
wasn't stupid. He was just he had the relaxed brain syndrome. But other than that, I wonder where Rocky would be had he stayed in school. That might be an
I
interesting.
honestly, I think it would have been a lot like you because you did it. You know what I'm saying? You graduated
Yeah,
high school, you went you must have gone to police academy, and I think he would have done all the things and still not have been satisfied.
yeah,
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 because
maybe.
it wasn't what he really, really wanted.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think it would have
Wasn't
been
what he wanted. Maybe he would have always ended up boxing.
yeah.
Like I wonder in Stallone's mind if he ever had a concept where Rocky legitimately could have been something else. Now I know he had talked about there are internet rumors about him being a mob person that wanted to get out of the mob, and
Hmm,
but then Godfather came out, so he decided not to go
mhm,
down that route. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Then I know there was one that he had mentioned about being a cab driver that runs for mayor of maybe Philadelphia or New York. They clean up the city, and the mayor becomes like a bit of a folk hero, but but that didn't resonate as deeply with him, and he was going to do an out of work actor. That would have been Rocky. But thank God he landed that he did where he did. But the little things like that, I always wonder, like, what's his other ideas for Rocky? He had 3 other movies in his mind that he wanted to do for Rocky. Like, what could that have been? I would love to hear that. So maybe definitely
he'll share it with us
more than probably he may. Give us some insight to that.
That'd be cool. That'd be so great.
Well, I'm done running my mouth for a while. So are we done? Are we out of here? Or do we have anyone? No, we're not done.
No.
Okay. Do we have a guest today?
I got notice that we have someone waiting in the green room.
We do have someone waiting.
We do.
All right. Can you send Belinda down and have Belinda? Yeah, Belinda's on her way out too. She screwed up the last picture segment. I'm not happy with her.
Oh, this is Matt Bibbo. Bibbo, pardon me. Matt Bibbo. Hang on. Here he is. Yay.
Look at that handsome guy.
What's up, guys?
Hello, Matt. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're slightly delirious. We're slightly. We've had a difficult time this show. We had a real problem with staffing and responsibilities, and Stacy and I are kicking around bringing back the paddle. The 1960s paddle from school. And do you see any problems with that in today's world?
Nah, let's go.
Let's go. Right? Exactly. Maybe we could bring you in as our HR lead tech in our HR department, and that way all complaints will go to you, and that'll be that. Get out of here.
I'll handle it.
Yeah. Give them a choice. You're breaking thumbs or getting paddled.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you want to dance, you got to pay the man, right?
Yeah, so. Exactly right. Exactly right. Man, what is it? What is it about Rocky Balboa that you traveled to Philadelphia, that you ran up those steps, that you watched those movies over and over? What is it about the character that inspires you?
Oh, God, where do I start? Where do I start? Since I saw Rocky in the movie, I'm going to show my age here. I'm 54 years old. I saw Rocky when I was 8 years old in a movie theater. I grew up in the Bronx, New York, right? Italian neighborhood. So seeing this unknown Italian guy up on the screen who had the mannerisms of nobody I ever seen before, especially from my neighborhood, right? Nobody was as kind of reserved and slow paced, and who really had a heart, to be honest with you. So seeing that kind of in front of me on the screen, and at 8 years old, you're very impressionable, right? You're like, you're kind of soaking this in, and I'm like, what am I seeing up here? This is, I love this guy. And the first, right after he fought Spider Rico and he's walking the streets and the credits are coming up, I fell in love with the guy, So what did it for me is just his heart, his heart, his heart, and the scenes in across all of the Rockies, all the really serious scenes, and where you really kind of see what is driving Rocky. And of course, we all know it's Adrian, right? Adrian is the heart of it's his heart. Yeah. So for me, that's what kind of pulled me in. It was kind of like, the workout scenes and all of that stuff are fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but just kind of seeing, that moment where he just had those wake up calls from Adrian, just really kind of pulled me in and what he was made of, and just showing, he could overcome anything. It didn't matter about muscles or how much he could lift and run and all of that. It was more to that. And that's what I'm kind of driven by. I'm kind of driven by that motivation of just not stopping, just kind of keep going, man, every day, keep moving forward. We always use that line. So that's what really kind of motivated me about the character, is to overcome anything and not always looking to, have muscles to do it, but have the heart and push to do it.
That's such an interesting thing. I want to talk about that just for a second. Of course, everybody always talks about round 14, the training montages, I Had a Tiger, all the boxing and the training and all of that, and the great quasi-villains and so on. But none of those moments when Rocky runs up the steps and he puts his arms up in victory, none of that works if you don't get the buy-in from Adrian and Rocky. If you don't have that, because like I know a lot of people, like, you don't see people referencing, Rocky and Adrian as much as you do the training and the fighting and so on. But would you think, Matt, that I'm kind of close on that it's because of the Adrian Rocky love story that the others work so well?
Mike, I thought of something last night, and you can't steal this from me. So here's what
I
thought of. Here you go. Adrian, right? When she woke up, she spoke up, she showed up, and she stepped up.
Nice.
Right? So in the 4 movies, 2, 3, 4, and Rocky 5, right? Rocky 2, we all know she woke up. Rocky 3, she was on the beach, right? She basically spoke up.
Yeah.
She showed up when he was training.
Yeah.
And in Rocky 5, when, as Sly would say, he wasn't in full command of his faculties, right? She stepped up and she told Duke to go.
Say that again. Just 1 second.
Out of here.
Say that again.
I don't want to see that on the T-shirt now. So that's what I was kind of thinking.
What's that last part, Matt? No, you're absolutely right. You are so dead on correct. And I think that's one of the things I really admired about you, talking with you over the last several years. You get that character. You understand, I think, the concept of Rocky better than a lot of other people do.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, to be a fan from 8 years old, like, that's huge. Did you have other people in your life at that time that were into Rocky like you, or were you like an astronaut, like jumping out of the space?
Well, I was thinking about that earlier, and I was saying to myself, I remember the days back in, as I got older in high school where, I didn't go to high school very much, right? But I did. I was lucky enough to get a really great job today and whatnot. But I did miss a lot of high school. And when I got home from, checking into homeroom back home, and the house was empty, everybody was off at work. Here I am watching, like, what I put on my VCR, which was like Stallone on Oprah, Stallone on Arsenio Hall,
right?
All of the different things. And Mike, I know you've shared so much of that on social media. I used to say to myself, am I the only one doing this stuff? Like I would be watching this and I'm like, this is incredible. Like, this guy is so inspirational. And, to see his transformation from like Rocky to, Tango and Cash, to how his whole kind of, all of his characters and following him. And I have a tremendous soft spot, by the way, for Deke Da Silva. So Nighthawk is one of my prized possessions. The coolest look ever. So I go that far back, following him and I'll use an old term here, taping him, on TV, and watching that stuff. But it was Sly for me. It really was. It was every move, Cobra and you name it. I at the time we all had like The Odd Couple and Honeymooners on TV that we, a lot of us would watch, right? We only had 20 channels maybe to flip through, if that. I don't even think we had that much.
I didn't even, maybe 13 channels. $6 Million Man was on one. Old reruns, right? George Reeves as Superman, the old black and white, where he's wearing the long johns as the Superman. It's crazy. There was very limited. Like, it's hard, Matt and Stacy, to say what, like, you can't. How do you explain to children today what TV was like when we were watching television? It's like I think, and sometimes our parents and my mom and dad are probably sitting there watching. Well, yeah, I mean, it's the same thing where like their parents tried to tell them when they were playing Elvis, oh, that music is the devil's music. It's horrible music, right? And then, we're listening to like AC/DC and Springsteen or whatever. And our parents are like, oh my God, AC/DC, Highway to Hell. What the hell? What are you talking about? But I think television didn't change a lot between when like my parents were watching television, roughly, to like when we were children. TV was the same. TV today is insane compared to TV back then. The options, 800, 900, 1,400 channels, and what's on television now. Where am I going with this? I really don't know, but I want to get back to you, Matt. So Stacy, go ahead. What do you got?
Well, I just wanted to show some proof of how far back Matt has been a fan. Take a look at this adorable picture.
That's amazing.
That's the Italian stallion when he was a baby.
Yep.
A baby. Look at that. Cut off gloves. He got the sweats, everything.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'm
God.
like, that's hardcore.
That is hardcore.
My mom, whatever we had in the house, right? That was, from our apartment in the Bronx. Give credit to her. She found some stuff for me. And I just, again, I was taken at an early age by the character. And as I got a little bit older, right, I started to discover lifting weights and things like that.
Yeah.
Rambo stuff on the wall. And, through it all, there isn't a day, I was thinking about this, there isn't a day, I swear, that goes by that I am not playing something from one of the movies in my headphones. And it just continues to motivate me. What happened to me during the pandemic, here's kind of my little bit of story here, is I really kind of got in a, just kind of, where I wasn't kind of doing much other than, work from home, it's like kitchen, bathroom, back to work. It's all I was kind of doing. And my health took a decline. So I ended up being diagnosed with diabetes. So, and then after that, like everybody else, once, if that happens to you, you take a pill and you feel everything gets better. And you're back off doing the same kind of bad things again, right? Because, so the medicine is kind of making things better. So what happened was a short time after that, it wasn't getting better and it started to get kind of worse. And I just said, okay, what the heck am I doing here? This was like in this past January. My dad had died 3 years ago of pancreatic cancer. So I said, I'm heading in that direction. What am I doing? So I've since, in the last 7-8 months, I've lost around 55 pounds.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a great feeling. And a lot of that is because of really reaching back to my hero. I mean, I don't know how else to kind of describe it. It's my hero. He's done it, right? Like everybody else. One of the stories that hit me that you guys did in episode, I think 43 with Stephanie, right? You talked a lot about that stuff and the struggles, and it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
And it sucks, it's something that a lot of us have to deal with the rest of our lives. I'm never going to be cured. I'm Italian. I love to eat. It's always around, it never ends. So it's kind of like an everyday struggle, but I made a promise to myself and I keep this guy behind me, kind of close to me every day. And, Mike, with your videos, by the way, man, your videos are awesome. You kind of, you put a smile on my face every day. Stacy, what you guys have put together here for this Rocky community and the guests you've had. And I would have never known John Rivoli and Robert Abruzio, right? We live 5 minutes from each other, Robert and I, growing up in the Bronx.
That's crazy.
So I remember the restaurant he spoke about Burt Young's restaurant and everything. So like all of these people, we all would have never known about. And I don't feel like a crazy man anymore that I'm, you
found your people, right? You found your people. That's really the thing that I started noticing years ago doing the tours. I remember coming home telling Sue one day, like, hey, these people, we have so much in common. We come, these people were from France or they're from, Australia or Canada or New Mexico, whatever. But none of that mattered because the Rocky philosophy really was woven through all of us, and it connects so many people. And I've been so fortunate to meet so many of you that love this character so much. And I would have killed to have had friends like this in high school that loved this. I dealt with a lot of mocking, as a lot of us dealt with that back then. But I didn't have that friendship that I could really go to talk about Rocky. The one or two friends I had appreciated Rocky, but they're like, okay, Mike, enough. And I can only talk to my mother and father for so long before they were like,
right?
Shut them up.
Exactly.
No, they never did that. But you know what I mean? So it's stuff. And thanks, man. That's nice. I was thinking about. Do you remember that time we were at the cemetery, Matt? And we saw the headstones. It was, they had moved them. It was, there it is. We had, this was during the filming of Creed 2. Yep. And they were filming either later in the afternoon or the next day. And they were starting to show up with wheelbarrows of this fake Hollywood snow, and they would have it shoveled around. And it was actually a kind of a warm day. It was like a 60-degree day in April. It was really, really warm. But when Stallone filmed it, it was a little later in the day and cloudy, so it gave the cold look to it. And it was a biodegradable snow that was done away with. It would just like not melt, but it would be, I was naturally organic. Anyways, we were taking these pictures there at the headstones, and this girl comes running over to us, and I had the fedora on, and I don't remember her name, but she was like a semi-professional runner, and that's where she would run. And she turns out to be this crazy Rocky fan, right? Do you remember her, man?
Of course I do. Yes.
Crazy, but the loveliest thing. So here we are, three strangers basically, and I had just met Matt a few hours earlier. So we are bonding over Rocky, the three of us. And it's crazy. Like, that just doesn't happen. Like, I don't know. Do people do that over Jason Bourne? I don't know.
No.
I mean, I don't know.
That's funny. And I tell you, just thinking of that cemetery, being at the cemetery and whatnot, that hill that Rocky and Paulie walk up walk down at the beginning of Balboa. Wow, that is steep. So
it
Stacy,
is.
If you ever get, Mike was going up and down like it was nothing because he probably did it a bunch of times. But I was like, oh my God, this is pretty steep.
It is a steep incline. It really is. It's funny because in Balboa, when he puts the chair in the tree with Paulie, they walk directly in back of the tree because there's a road like that's 50 feet from where the graves are. And that's where they walk off. But really, they should be walking to their left down a little bit. That's where the path is to go down. So it's a little movie continuity, which is kind of interesting. But, Matt, can you believe I have not had my co-host on a tour yet?
Oh, my God. What is she waiting for?
I told her it's a free tour.
Done, right? The room looks great. Your husband's got his job in place.
Right? Today's his first day, actually.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Wow.
Nice.
That's great.
Yes.
Nice.
But you got to make the trip.
That's happening. Yeah.
He's amazing. Really, I mean,
I know.
He knows so much. We were driving through the market, I remember, and people were like, yo, Mike, what's up? It felt like I was running with Rocky. I'm not even joking. I'm like, this is great. I didn't know whether to listen to Mike, look around. I was recording. He was so
busy.
much happening. It's so great. And you're so, I'm so happy for you. You're really blessed to kind of do something that you love, and that's precious. Really, really precious. So, and it couldn't happen to a better guy.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. But to me, it always comes back to the character of Rocky, and that philosophy, that fighting spirit, that keep punching, moving forward. All those little sayings that we say all the time, we have in our heads. We write them on our social media pages, and we say it in our little videos. All of that has built such an amazing following and a fan base that resonates with millions and millions of people. And I know how it makes me feel being able to facilitate these tours. And for some people, it's a bucket list. For some people, not so much. But I wonder how Stallone feels when the gravity will hit him in a given situation. He may be watching the Olympics and someone is playing from Norway. They're ice skating to the Rocky theme or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, what does that do to him? Yes, Bill Conti is a great composer, but that's not why they're ice skating to it. They're ice skating to it because of Sylvester Stallone. So when that weight hits him, is he used to it? Does he compartmentalize it and not get too carried away, or does he allow himself to say, maybe for 5 minutes, wow, look what I accomplished, look what I worked so damn hard to do? What do you guys think he does?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Stacy.
No, I was going to say, on Tony DeGennaro's posts, the way he posts his kids and everything, he recently just had a response from Sly, and I think that response was so genuine. It says it makes his heart swell, I think was the thing that he says, when I see this makes my heart swell. So he definitely has those moments, because you could see that he was moved in that comment, by what he
Yeah.
wrote.
Absolutely. I think Sly completely embraces the Rocky love. I don't think that ever goes away. I mean, you go back a couple, not even 2-3 years ago, he was doing the Super Bowl commercial, right, with Rocky on the steps.
Yeah.
He loves it, and now connecting with, all the different Instagram and social media stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, what other celebrity is so interactive with the fans? And
I'm glad you said that, Matt, because and Stacy, maybe you and I haven't really talked about this. Like, we are on like the planet bubble Sly Rocky, okay? That's the bubble we inhabit online. There has to be a Brad Pitt bubble. There has to be, a George Clooney bubble, a Meryl Streep bubble, a Julia Roberts bubble, Tony Soprano. So, like, I don't know. Sometimes I will go to the Soprano bubble and I will spend some time there. Sometimes I'll go to the Jaws bubble and I will see what fans say about the movie and their props and so on. But it's not like the shark from Jaws can interact with them. Roy Scheider's dead. Quint's dead. Richard Dreyfuss he's still around, but he's not interacting with anyone that I'm aware of.
Right.
Like, does George Clooney and Val Kilmer, do they interact with Batman fans? I don't think so. Like,
not at all.
I don't even think Arnold does it on the level that Sly does. Arnold does do it, but not on the level that Sly does it. I mean, to be a guy that inspirational and such a legend in the world of not only acting but just in the world, the guy's a legend. And I don't know, is there, do you guys go to other bubbles where stars interact?
No, I don't. I mean,
Stacy, are you doing another podcast where a star is following you?
No.
Okay.
You know what's funny? I mean, I follow a lot of, and we have a lot of similarities, Mike, in the movies that we enjoy. A lot of actors that are not A-list actors, that are not B-list actors, right? I'll follow the guy who said a few lines in Goodfellas, or he said something, right? Some of these people won't even like a comment. They won't respond to anything. And sometimes it's kind of nice, even though it's like you don't even know who's behind it. Is he really liking it or not? So I would say no. I don't think any of these other kind of celebrities at the top or bottom. Maybe there are. I just don't follow them. But the way that to see it, when I was younger, Sylvester Stallone to me was he was God. Right. I don't mean it in the way like,
no,
I believe in God. I love God.
Yeah, I hear you.
He was God to me.
Yeah, me too.
He was, kind of what I reached to for that higher power, whatever, when I needed it. So, now seeing how kind of, and we're, talking with you guys and interacting with you guys and others in the Rocky community, I feel such a closeness to Stallone, even though maybe there'll never be a day I meet him. Obviously, I wish that he would see this video and there's something like that, right? We all kind of wish that. We love the guy and the characters that he's created, but it was so far fetched to think, you would ever kind of get anywhere near this kind of guy.
Agreed.
So I kind of lived, and this is funny. As one of something mentioned in Rocky V, right? Rocky says to his son, "I lived through your eyes," right?
Right.
Mike, when you met Sly at the steps and you talked to Sly at the Victor's Cafe, it was like we were part of that. It was, It really, I honestly
absolutely
mean that,
true.
I honestly mean
I
that.
get that. Thank you. I get that.
I came home from. I get all worked up for this stuff because I'm so passionate.
I do too. I do too.
Stacy. So I got home when this happened to Mike outside the Victor's Cafe. I remember pulling in the driveway. I had my, corporate looking outfit on. I hated it. I wanted to rip it off, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting there and I can't get out of the car because I went on Instagram and I see Mike talking to Sly and I'm like, how the hell is he keeping it together? So nice, so cool. And it was so smooth and I was so happy. It was just that conversation and Sly just seemed, so just kind of real. And not this.
He was. He was. And the thing that I tell a lot of people about that is that in them, I don't remember standing there. I don't remember any of it. The only reason I remember and why it stays clear in my mind is because Sly's wrangler, Sarah Paterno, he asked her to film this so I could include it so I could put it on the website and then I could put it on in the documentary, The Pretender. So when I go back and rewatch that video, then it all starts to trigger. I'm like, okay. But in that moment, when I watch it, I do remember what I was thinking. And will you look at me in some of the poses, my hands are in front of me. I'm just like a little going to first communion, right? First Holy Communion. I'm just.
I thought you seemed very relaxed and put together.
No, I wasn't. And I had spoken with him many, many times. Not until about a minute and a half into that video did I start to say, wait a minute. Mike, you remember everything you learned about the guy. You saw him when he was frustrated on set. You saw him when the little girls, his daughters asked him to go, Daddy, we have to go to the bathroom. When I was at his 60th birthday dinner at the Victor Cafe, I see these little things. Oh, wait a minute. This is not a guy. He's not a god. He doesn't fly and walk on water. He's just a normal guy who happens to be a writer and an actor in Rocky and Rambo. And other than that, he's got the same issues we all got, maybe even more. And remembering that, then I started to come down a little bit and not be so nervous. But at the same time, I'm wondering, okay, do I have any white spit in the middle of my corner of my mouth? Am I going to spit by accident? Because we all do that when we talk, especially when you're getting excited. You forget to lick your lips or whatever. And then am I too close to him? Should I back up? Is he going to feel threatened? What do I do here? This is kind of new territory because it was a new level of intimacy speaking with him. And all I can tell you is he made it very, very easy and very comfortable. And just kept talking, and it was great. It was the most amazing thing. But I know what you mean, because I've seen other fans when they reach their dreams and their goals and they get acknowledged, like Tony DeGennaro, when he got that reply from Sly. I thought that was so wonderful and heartfelt. That meant a lot to me because I know what that means. That I just talked to Stacy, Matt, about this before we were talking. Could you imagine if Sly took a different tactic with me? If like he would sit around the table at night with his daughters goofing on me and his wife and everything, his nut job in Philly, my God, I got to hire 6 more security guys. So it would have destroyed me if Sly had been any other way than how he was. And that was Sue's big fear, that because you don't know these people. Anyways.
No, but in The Pretender, it kind of made me think, in The Pretender, when you were at the post office, right, and you had that letter. Right. At that time, you had no communication with Sly other than maybe, I think you met him at maybe Planet Hollywood or something like that.
It was, I had been to the dinner in 2006. I had been to the birthday dinner.
And then, you were mailing that letter, and it just, you wanted him to know, how much he meant to you and talk to him. And then that happened. It was like, boom.
It's great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
And do you know that the thing was, Jim Toscano still partially regrets putting that in the movie with being Stallone at the end. He still regrets it. He's insane. He says that he wanted to end it with Sly holding the picture of the book. That's how he wanted to end it. He didn't think he needed that. And then people whispered in his ear, no. I mean, come on.
That's a big moment. Yeah.
That's a huge moment. This is the culmination of an entire life. You've just been given 3 minutes of the culmination of a human's life, validated by the guy that the guy is pretending to be all these years.
Phenomenal.
I mean, but when I have conversations with Jim, he's like, I don't know. I still don't think we needed it. Well, maybe we didn't need it, but it makes a huge difference. I said, it really does.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Great.
Yeah, I would have wanted it in there. I think my very favorite commentary on Sly is from Brian Dennehy in that one video. Talk about summing it up and everything that I've just been listening to you guys talk about, and how he does go out in the public and meet. I think it charges him up, and I think he had to work his butt off. He didn't know anyone. He wasn't anyone's kid in Hollywood. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He had to do it from scratch and make connections and fight for it. And, Brian Dennehy says nobody helped Sylvester Stallone. He's a self-made man. Love that video.
When I watched that, that's a great point there. When I watched that, I hated him so much in Rambo, right? That character, I hated him. That just shows what a fantastic, as much as I loved Mickey and realized Burgess Meredith was acting,
right?
I had the hate for Brian Dennehy in that movie.
Right.
because he just didn't let it go.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
right? So, but that's a compliment to their acting ability, which was tremendous.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I watched that, I said, "Oh my God, I hated this guy so much." And look what he's saying about
Look what he's saying.
But
It is
yeah,
just
that was
acting.
great. Yeah,
Just
yeah,
acting.
absolutely.
I
But,
wanted to show you sent me some beautiful pictures from the tour, and hey, we know these two guys right here.
Hey, look at those happy guys.
oh God, yep,
Look at
yep.
that.
Great
Yeah.
time.
And this is all from the tour when Matt, you were there.
Trust Street Gym. Yep, Mike.
Is that where that one is? That is there.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
Mike. That was when you said, "Hey, let's give it a shot and pass by and see if my friend's in there." And you ran upstairs and you said, "Come on in." And we went
That's
upstairs
right.
and it was fantastic. Yeah, the owner of the place was just really really awesome.
Nice.
This here, Stacy, was pretty cool. Mike and I driving around, we passed by, right? They're in the middle of, well, I don't think they were just starting to film Creed 2, and we passed by the gym.
Uh-huh.
And there were these two girls outside who were part of the production crew who are
Oh,
sitting there on the
neat.
curb.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
Apollo Creed's gym they used in the movie, Delphi Boxing Academy.
Oh, cool.
Absolutely. So Mike pulled the car right in. We got out. We started BSing with the two girls a little bit. Hey, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And before you know it, they said, go on inside, be our guest. So we weren't going to, not do that. So we went inside and we checked it out, and it was really, really cool.
It was very,
Wow.
very cool.
Yeah.
And we had no idea how it was going to be used in the movie.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had no idea.
Yeah, it was great. This is in the middle of
Sorry, I'll go back. Go
good.
ahead.
That's my son Christopher, who's now 17, going to be 18. So that's a couple of years ago. I look like an Italian grandmother next to him now. So he's way over. These guys.
He's real tall. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Wow.
I definitely am going in the other direction. So yeah, definitely.
Here's back at the gym. Yeah.
Back at the gym. Yeah, me trying to act tough here, but I'm not tough. Half of my life is I want to be Rocky, and the other half is Kevin James. So
okay.
that's kind of where I'm at. But yeah, that was the first time I went to the steps, and I was able to get to the top and just see. It was really emotional because of all the years and watching it on TV to finally be there and say, "Wow, this is it." This is the great feeling.
Mm-hmm.
A mixed gym. So definitely after I went with Mike, I had kind of gone back with some of my, my family here, my son again, and Victor's Cafe. They were fantastic in letting us kind of walk around. My son and we went inside. They were closed at the time. It was early afternoon. And is it Greg, Mike?
Greg's not always there. Rick is another one. Rick has white hair and a big white beard nowadays, but I don't know.
I was Greg then.
Okay, gotcha.
He was outside kind of cleaning up, and he just said, go on in, check it out, do whatever, and I was like, this is unbelievable. So we went inside and we checked it out. It was really fantastic. I'm actually going to Philly on Thursday.
Nice.
We're going to do some college tours.
Oh, nice.
So, check out Temple. So I am definitely only 12 minutes from Temple to the steps. So I will be going to the steps.
Oh,
listen,
nice.
I want to warn you ahead of time.
Here it comes.
The steps may be closed.
Oh,
the Made for America tour with Jay-Z. They're building a stage on right now. I just had to email a bunch of my tours that are going to, the Labor Day weekend. I can't go. The steps will be off limits. You won't be able to go the steps.
Okay.
The statue may or may not be even available. There's about 100 tractor trailers down there, and it's a complete disaster. Eakins Oval, which is the streets immediately around there, from the fountain where Rocky runs in Rocky 2, he comes around the other side and then he runs down the middle of the road. Mm-hmm. From there down to the art museum, it's all closed. Can't go anywhere near it. Okay. Yeah, it's a real bummer. Now I've got people coming from France, everywhere, and they're like, we want to run the Rocky steps. I go, yeah, I understand that, but you can't.
Wow.
Sorry. But just a heads up, but you can still drive around some of the other Rocky sites and see them. Yeah. They're still there. They're still there.
Exactly. There's always good to visit.
It is.
Yeah, definitely.
Horrible timing. My gosh.
I know. Yeah. I hate this Made in America tour. I mean, it's such a pain. They understand I'm running a business.
Right.
I am bringing 15 to 35 people to the city on that day. What are they bringing? 700,000? Come on. It's a joke.
Terrible.
How many of those people are going to eat at the Victors? Probably none. Everybody from my tour goes to the Victors.
That's right. Places.
What's happening? Who's this? What are we looking
at?
Wife,
Wendy. So that's my wife, Wendy.
There she
this
is.
was when we took a trip to Lake George, but she's a huge supporter of mine. She's very much into fitness and whatnot, and it's kind of really, finally rubbed off on me the last 6-7 months.
Nice.
So we're doing a lot of walking. She cracks jokes around the house and tells my son that she's going to take Dad for a walk. So I feel like I'm the dog, right? So she's like, "I'll be right back. We're going to take Dad." All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. So it's kind of funny, but
that's
it's
nice.
a lot of fun. So yeah.
All good stuff. That's great.
There's 5 moments. Big moments. I wanted to show these pictures of the people he's met. I mean, some key people.
Yeah.
We'll start here with Frank. This is a while ago.
Good old
Frank.
That was
I met most of the cast at Chiller Theater.
Okay.
So Chiller Theater in New Jersey. This convention they have every April and October. A lot of crazies walking around the place, but it's a lot of fun.
And that's just Gary Busey.
Exactly. Yeah, that's good. Absolutely. So it's Frank was there at one time, and then Burt Young, and then Brigitte was there.
How was she?
She was. I tell you, she was pretty great. Nice. I think she had gotten up. I didn't have to pay anything to kind of get her to take a picture, so that was nice. But she was really nice, really nice. Burt was great. The one that really hit me was when I met Tony Burton.
Yeah.
Tony was so interactive. He was into it, Mike, right? Like I just said to him how much I brought up the Rocky IV part and all your strength, all your power, everything you got. He reenacted the whole thing for me.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, and he really was like, I said, you got to put that on paper. So he autographed that for me on a picture. And, as you can see in that picture, we took a nice picture there. So he was pretty fantastic. Something I'll never forget, because I love his lines. I was so happy in the Rocky IV director's cut that they gave him a little bit more camera time. That was really nice. So good stuff. Yeah, it's great meeting those guys.
Did you like the Rocky IV director's cut?
I liked it. I did. It takes a little getting used to for me. Just on some of the scenes, I was, kind of thinking, did I like this, or is it something they really didn't, whatever. But anytime there's anything kind of new for me, like Samaritan coming out and whatnot, I am all over it. I am just, I love it. I really do. And I watched it the other night. It was really good. But I did like the director's cut, and I even, getting back to what we were talking about earlier, I mean, look at Sly. He did this whole documentary on YouTube about the build-up for Rocky.
Wasn't that fantastic?
Oh, it was. I mean, who does that kind of stuff? So he loves this character so much.
Not Jason Bourne, I can tell you that.
No, not Jason Bourne, not at all.
No, he ain't doing nothing for fans.
No, nothing. Nope. So that was that was really, really interesting to see.
Nice.
And we went to the theater to see that. A lot different from seeing the first Rocky to seeing the Rocky IV and director's cut in the theater, right? You're in now new theaters, right? They have the recliners, and it's a whole different experience.
Are you going to buy the 4K Rocky 6-pack when it comes out in November?
Oh my God, I probably will. Come on.
Yeah,
I probably will. Absolutely.
I know.
Anything
I know.
more.
They always sucker us in. No new behind deleted scenes. They got them all from 2 to Balboa. They got all deleted scenes, and they're still not releasing them. Still not.
I'll tell you one thing. I will tell you, Mike. You've talked a lot about Rocky Balboa, and I think everybody, and I know that's near and dear to your heart. And I think for me, I've said for the longest time, the first Rocky is my favorite. Sure. I am now getting older, and I'm thinking, I think Rocky Balboa is my favorite out of the whole series.
Yeah, it
You know,
changes.
maybe because I am getting older and whatnot.
Now
But
we're
I'll tell you,
closer to 60 than we are to 30. We are we are 6 years.
Right?
6 years.
Huge.
We're actually 5.5 years
Oh
away
God.
from where Sly was, because he was 59 and a half when he filmed Balboa.
Mhm.
So we're only 5.5 years from that.
Yeah.
And you know, as we get older, you just said some of the hurdles you got to clear, and I can relate to some of that as well. And I know Stacy can too. She's got her own story. So that's the thing. I understand you saying that there may be a little switch, the hardness and the youth. Rocky, that's always going to be great and fantastic, and depending on the day. But boy, Balboa, man, can we relate to Balboa more than anything nowadays?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I was, before, yesterday I said, I want to poke in on a few of the Rocky movies and kind of see. And my go-to was Balboa, and I said, there's something to be said that I went to that movie, as my, just kind of wanting to watch one of the greatest lines that I don't think I've heard anybody speak of. I'm sure, Mike, you know it very, very well. Is I think a bunch of lines come from Little Marie, Geraldine Hughes, right?
Love
She
her.
says a line in Rocky Balboa that you're going to prove to the world that the last thing to grow old on somebody is their heart.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
That is the greatest line, because you think about Adrian in Rocky V, where she screamed at him in the street and said, "You didn't beat him with muscle, you beat him with heart."
Right.
And that just sums up the character.
Exactly.
Right there. And fighters fight, she had that part of it.
Oh yeah.
And the scene in the street where he said to her, when's the last time you went dancing, because you dance around all these problems, right? You might as well come dance with me.
Right.
So and that scene where he tells her, come on over, to the restaurant, it's that warmness that I just want to hug the guy. And I love everything about him. So Rocky Balboa for me brought back the warm Rocky, even though we had that beast inside of him, right?
Yeah,
He wanted to get out and go knock somebody out because he was so frustrated, but yet he just had to do it. So some fantastic lines in Rocky Balboa. Besides the whole, got to keep moving forward.
Yeah, because that just puts shade on everything.
Yeah,
that is so superior.
Right.
Superior.
Right.
I mean, I think you cannot turn on social media without seeing that on someone's page as you're on their wall, as you're scrolling through. It's either a poster in the background or someone selling one, or because it's on a coffee mug. I mean, or they have a tattoo of it. I mean, it really is an inspiring thing. And now it's a portion of that is on the Rocky statue in Philadelphia. They have a bronze plaque that was there, which is incredible in and of itself. Stacy, before we let Matt get out of here, what else you got for him?
I just wanted to add to the Geraldine Hughes. She's someone I'd love to have on here at some point. I don't know how, she would be great. But I love the scene when they're in the van and she says, everybody's got that fire inside, but not all of us get to have a chance to use it. You know what I mean? And I really thought I was going to get through a Rocky movie, at least one, without crying. That was the moment. I don't know what it was. That's the moment when, at least for me, that I realized I have a fire inside and I'm not doing it. I'm not working on it. You know what I'm saying? And that hit me hard. So I just wanted to add that one in there. But Matt, go ahead.
Yeah, it's true. I look at motivation really is, some people, think that you can just kind of flip a switch. It really doesn't happen. It really, motivation comes along once in a while in your life. It really does. It's not there all the time. You could blast Eye of the Tiger in both ears for 100 years. If you don't have it here, it ain't happening. So I really think what she said there, Stacy, to your point, in that, you've got this, do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Do it.
And we don't always, that fire, let it go, let it out. So I agree with you.
Yeah. So, but you're the bubble, you know what I mean? We talk about, we found our people, and you're just a perfect example of, this is how we behave here. This is how much we love it. This is how, how it's, infused in your bones and in your guts and your all that. So
well, you guys definitely,
you're a lot of fun.
You allowed me to kind of let out
Yes.
Mike, to what you said earlier about this. Not, people, my wife, my mom, they're like, oh yeah, that's great. Oh
Yeah.
really?
Right.
Oh good. Okay.
Yeah, but
right.
you have to temper it. You have to temper it.
Right.
It's like someone has put a live wire around you to
Yeah.
corral you back. Okay, hold back. I mean, who like you're one of those guys. You get. I think one of the reasons you love Kevin James so much, and I love him too, is his love for Rocky, which is very, very profound. When during COVID he did the sound guy during the Balboa speech, that might be one of the best, funniest things I've ever seen. I mean, the way he superimposed himself, he pretends like he's crying.
So good.
He's holding the boom. I love it.
So good.
It really is.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, I'm going to let you go. But before I let you go, we always have this question, and it's a really important question. You've got 30 seconds in an elevator with Sylvester Stallone. What do you say?
After I hug him?
It's your 30 seconds, pal. You can take your clothes off or leave them on, whatever you want to do.
I'm doing that. Want to give the big man hug, right? Yeah. I think it's to thank him. I really do. Is to really thank him for a lifetime of motivation, a lifetime of being able to go to a place outside of, your everyday family that you talk to, and just kind of just thank him for having that character to go to really push you through life, really push you, and just he's created these characters that are so have such an impression on a person, and you don't forget about them. So I would really just thank him for giving that lifetime, that lifetime motivation that I think we all need, from beginning to end. So I'll try to sum that up in 30 seconds, but yeah, it's all about just thanking him.
All
for
about
everything.
the thank you.
Boy, I don't know how else to say it. I'd screw it up. I'd try to keep it simple and just thank him. Very simple.
Right. Yeah. No, and you're right. That's actually the way to do it. I think a lot of people get screwed up. I remember this one story. There was a guy during Stallone's wasn't the birthday dinner. It was during filming of Balboa. There was a guy who was trying to hand Stallone a handwritten letter, and he was in this really overly done Italian suit, and he had this Rolex on, and he kept pacing like a tiger all night in the restaurant. And Rhea, the manager at the time of the Victor Cafe, she was trying to keep him away because she knew he was a crazy fan. They ended up taking the guy out. The police had to come and take him out. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Oh God.
Yeah, keep it simple, man.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Right.
Last thing I want to tell you, not related to Stallone, not really. Have you ever read the Superman comics, or have you ever collected comics, Superman?
Not super. I have some. When I was younger, I collected comics, but I really don't right now. But tell me.
When they revamped the series in the early 90s, they brought in, and then they led to the death of Superman, and they did a whole bunch of things. Superman had a buddy who was a cook down at a restaurant on the riverfront, and the guy's name was Bibbo, and I just thought that was Superman's best buddy, and he was like this rough and tough Leatherface sailor type dude who he didn't have like he wasn't a college graduate, but he was so tough. He would stop muggers, or if somebody was trying to take a purse or something, he would club them, and he would call Superman Soups. I got him for you, Soups. He was this grizzled guy. Anyways, I always think of you every time I see you on social media when you comment or like something that I post at Bibbo. I said, "Oh, there's my buddy Bibbo." Anyways,
I love it. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
I am so excited, Stacy, when you reached out. So thank you. I hope this goes over well, and I know you guys are doing a fantastic job. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep punching. And if this guy can't show up one day for a tour, give me a ring. I'll step in there.
That's right.
Or just call me back anytime. I'd love to talk stuff.
I think you'd be a good guest host, Matt. No doubt about it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I'm going on vacation in a few weeks. Maybe we'll bring you in then.
That's good. Enjoy.
All right. Keep punching, my friend.
Thank you, pal. Bye, Stacy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice.
The guy's a ball of energy.
Yeah. He
loves Rocky.
He's us. He gets us. And
yep. we get him.
We get him.
Yeah, right.
That's for sure.
That's what it's all about. I mean, imagine if I could have palled around with that guy back in high school. Maybe I wouldn't be here now. Because I was loner central back then. But to have a friend like that, maybe I wouldn't have been the way that I was. So it's just amazing that as relevant as Stallone was back in the 80s, I think he's more relevant today in many, many different ways. The fact that he's hung in there so long, and for Matt to take time out of his life to come on and hang out with us was just fantastic. So thanks, Matt.
Yeah, he was great. Yeah, that would have been good for you because it's the validation, just the way Adrian and Rocky validate each other.
That's true.
It would have been nice to have had that person that says,
and I never did. I never had that as I had a couple of friends, one or two here and there, but not with that type of validation. So, it was, that's why we do the Rocky tours. That's why we do this fun little podcast, and we get a chance to reconnect. And now like Matt's going to he'll become a family member, an extended family member on our little podcast here.
For sure.
Who knows? Right?
Yep. Absolutely. Immediate part of the family here. Check.
Exactly.
So true.
Exactly. Stacy, before we wrap this up and get out of here and spend the rest of our night doing whatever it is we're doing, what else do we have left to talk about? What could possibly be left?
I just want to plug Samaritan one more time.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, just go watch it. I was so proud of him. You know what I mean? I was just I said it when I posted it. I said, Father Time has nothing on this guy. He just keeps going. 50 years. Who else can you think of that's been in the Hollywood industry, which is so cruel? You know what I mean? For 50 years. He's amazing.
And it's not like Stallone had it easy.
No,
it's not like they held open the front door. Come on in, Sly. He had to come in through the kitchen in a disguise.
Yeah,
literally. He really had a difficult time, and so many times Hollywood counted him out, and so many times, every single time, he proves them wrong, and he keeps coming back. I mean, what more do you need to be inspired by? I mean, that's it for me. Forget about the Liberty Bell. You got Sylvester Stallone,
right? Yeah. So it's that keep moving forward is Rocky and it's Sly. Yeah. So it's you kind of have it twice in a way.
Stacy, if people keep moving forward, where can they find you?
I am on Instagram at Had Me at
You are?
I am.
I didn't know that. Who are you on Instagram?
Had Me at Yo.
Had Me at Yo.
The Rocky Files and Rocky Files podcast on
Facebook.
What about
you? Well, I have a little documentary about my life called The Pretender. You can see it right here, there. Yeah, there it is. Right in front of your face. Just look straight ahead, dummy. The Pretender, you can check that out on Amazon Prime. It's also on Peacock, Tubi Television. It's on just about every streaming platform except Netflix because they are foolish. I also wrote a little book called Cue the Rocky Music. There you go. Stacy has it. And from time to time, we do little readings of it on the Rocky Files. And we're probably due for one soon. So, check that out. It does fit in stocking. So you can go to wherever books are sold and pick that up. You can find me on Instagram, the Yo Philly Rocky Film Tour at the Rocky Files, or you can head on over to TikTok and hit me with a lot of insults like the rest of the morons do over there at TikTok Rocky. Okay, so Stacy, that's about it. That's all I got.
Awesome.
I think me and my little pink magic marker are going to go and get some dinner. And
okay.
Yes. Bye, everybody. I have to go eat food. Goodbye,
I'm going to save the audience. Bye.
Keep punching. Goodbye.
Keep punching. Oh, you're such a goofball.
Yes, there are mental issues at afoot here.